All right, buckle up, everybody, because today we are diving headfirst into some seriously mind-bending stuff. AI robots, the future of humanity, the whole shebang. We've got a bunch of YouTube videos to unpack, and trust me, these aren't your typical tech reviews.
Yeah, this goes way deeper than just the latest gadgets. We're talking about what it even means to be human in a world where AI might be calling the shots pretty soon.
Exactly, and to help us navigate this crazy landscape, we've got some serious heavy hitters weighing in. First up, we have philosopher Nick Bostrom. You know, the simulation argument guy. Well, he did this interview with Tom Bilyeu, and he's connecting that whole simulation idea to the potential of artificial general intelligence, or AGI.
And he's not just theorizing. Bostrom actually thinks we're like a year or two away from achieving AGI. AI that can learn and think just like we do.
Whoa, hold on a sec. A year or two, that's right around the corner. What makes him so sure about that timeline?
He points to the crazy speed of advancements in stuff like machine learning. And get this, even our current AI, which is still pretty basic compared to what's coming. It can already beat us humans at certain tasks. So imagine what will happen in just a few years when it gets even smarter.
Okay, I get the concept, but the idea of AI surpassing human intelligence, that's where the whole singularity thing comes in, right?
The singularity.
Okay.
That's the point where AI becomes so intelligent that things start changing so fast we can't even predict what'll happen next. Bostrom calls it an intelligence explosion. AI systems start designing and improving themselves at an exponential rate.
Okay, now I'm officially kind of freaked out. It's like we're little kids trying to understand what it's like to be a grown-up.
He uses that analogy. Bostrom says just like a 5-year-old can't grasp the life of a 25-year-old, our human brains might be totally incapable of understanding what super-intelligent AI is truly capable of.
So, best case scenario, this super AI solves all our problems, cures diseases, maybe even brings about world peace. But what if it goes the other way? We've all seen those sci-fi movies where the robots take over.
Well, Bostrom brings up Aldous Huxley's Brave New World as a potential scenario. AI fulfills all our needs. Sounds pretty utopian, right? But then he asks this really thought-provoking question. What happens to human purpose and drive in a world where we don't have to strive for anything anymore?
Whoa, yeah, that's deep. Why bother getting out of bed if a robot can do everything for you?
He even suggests people might start questioning the whole point of existence. It's a pretty dark thought, but it makes you wonder about the psychological impact of handing over so much control to AI.
Okay, maybe a world ruled entirely by robots isn't the best outcome. Let's switch gears for a second and talk about someone who's actually building these robots right now. We also watched Peter Damanch's interview with Brett Adcock. He's the founder of Figure, a company that's building humanoid robots. These guys aren't just theorizing, they're out there making it happen.
And it's not a walk in the park building these things. Adcock gets real about how tough the hardware side of things is. AI software is one thing, but building a physical robot that can walk around and interact with our world, that's a whole other level of complexity.
What kind of challenges are we talking about specifically?
He talks about constantly sourcing components, dealing with supply chain issues, and just the sheer difficulty of building hardware that's reliable and robust. He even compares the process to death by 1,000 cuts.
Ouch, that sounds rough. And it makes you think about our own experiences with AI. We're all using AI assistants on our phones and computers. But most of us probably haven't stopped to think about the mind-blowing engineering that goes into building a robot that can actually walk, talk, and function in the real world.
It really highlights just how incredible our own bodies are, right?
Right.
Replicating that level of complexity in a machine is no small feat.
I mean, I can barely get my Roomba to not get stuck under the couch. And this guy's building robots that can walk around for 5 hours. That's insane.
Yeah, 5 hours. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And they're designed to lift 20 kilos, too. Adcock and his team at Figure have set some pretty ambitious goals for these robots.
So where did they get all that power from? Are we going to have to start installing robot charging stations everywhere we go?
That's actually one of the cool things about their design. They're focusing on doing all the processing on board the robot itself, instead of relying on the cloud like a lot of AI systems do.
So it's like a Tesla, but for robots.
Pretty much. They figure onboard processing will make the robots react faster and just perform better overall.
Makes sense, but it sounds like Adcock has bigger plans for these robots than just walking around and lifting heavy stuff, right?
Oh, absolutely. He's all about real-world applications. He wants to get these robots out there doing actual work.
So what kind of work are we talking about? Is he going to send them to fix my leaky faucet, finally?
Maybe not that. But he sees them taking over dangerous jobs. Things that are too risky or just plain boring for humans to do.
Like working in a factory or cleaning up toxic waste?
Exactly. Or even things like elder care.
Wait, robots taking care of grandma? That doesn't sound quite right.
It's not about replacing human connection. It's more about assisting with the physical tasks, like helping someone get out of bed or making sure they take their medication.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense. It would free up human caregivers to focus on the emotional side of things.
Right, and Adcock's vision goes even further than that. He talks about robots helping us with everything from household chores to scientific research.
So basically, robots doing all the work while we humans sit back and relax.
Well, not exactly. He still emphasizes the importance of human ingenuity and creativity. It's more about collaboration between humans and robots, each playing to their strengths.
I like that idea, working together instead of one replacing the other.
And that's really at the heart of what Mustak, the stability AI guy, is talking about, too.
Oh, yeah. He's the one who said any company that doesn't embrace AI by 2030 is going to be toast.
Yeah, he doesn't mince words, does he? But he also talks about how AI can create new jobs and whole new industries that we can't even imagine yet.
So it's not all doom and gloom, then.
Definitely not. He sees AI as a tool that can help us become more productive and efficient.
So like AI agents being personal assistants for everyone.
Exactly. Helping us with everything from scheduling meetings to analyzing data.
That actually sounds pretty useful, but how do we make sure that everyone benefits from this AI revolution and not just the big tech companies that are developing it?
Mustak has a really interesting way of looking at it. He compares AI to electricity.
Electricity. Okay. I'm not sure I follow that one.
Just like electricity transformed the world in the 20th century, AI is going to be the transformative force of the 21st century.
So we need to learn how to harness the power of AI just like we learned to harness electricity.
Exactly. And we need to make sure it's used for good.
But who gets to decide how AI is used? Is it governments, corporations, or some kind of global AI council?
Mustak emphasizes the need for international cooperation. This isn't something any one country can solve on its own.
He's right. AI is a global phenomenon, but can we really expect countries with different values and priorities to agree on a unified approach to AI?
It's a huge challenge for sure, but he believes it's crucial to at least try. We need to establish ethical guidelines, share knowledge, and work together to make sure AI is used for the benefit of all humankind.
Otherwise, what happens if we don't cooperate?
He warns about a potential existential threat. Those are his words.
Okay, that sounds pretty serious.
He's not exaggerating. We're talking about a technology that could potentially redefine what it means to be human. It could even threaten our very existence if it falls into the wrong hands.
I'm starting to see why this is such a big deal.
It's not just about cool gadgets anymore. We're talking about the future of our species.
So what can we do about it? How do we make sure AI is used for good and not for evil?
Mustak is a big advocate for democratizing AI, making sure it's accessible to everyone, not just a select few.
I like that idea, but how do we actually make it happen?
He talks about open source development, diverse perspectives, and ethical considerations being built into AI from the ground up.
So a more inclusive and transparent approach to AI development. It sounds like a worthy goal, but can we really expect corporations and governments to play along?
It's a tough question, but remember, the stakes are incredibly high. We're talking about a technology that could potentially solve some of humanity's biggest challenges.
Yeah.
Like climate change, poverty, and disease.
So we need to be very intentional about how we develop and deploy AI. We need to make sure it aligns with our values and goals as a species.
And that brings us back to the ethical considerations. Mustak is really passionate about this stuff. He's not just a tech visionary. He's deeply concerned about the potential dangers of AI if it's not developed responsibly.
Yeah, it's like we have this incredible power at our fingertips, but we need to make sure we use it wisely.
Exactly. And one of Mustak's big concerns is the lack of diversity in the field of AI development right now.
Oh yeah, I've heard him talk about that before. He's always emphasizing the need for more diverse perspectives in tech.
He argues that if we only have a small group of people shaping this technology, then we're going to end up with AI that only reflects their worldview.
Which could lead to all sorts of unintended consequences, right?
Exactly, like amplifying existing biases and inequalities.
It's like if you only had men designing cars, they might not be very comfortable or safe for women to drive.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. Mustak is a big advocate for open source development as a way to bring more diversity into AI.
So instead of having all the power concentrated in the hands of a few big tech companies,
we make the code and data more accessible so anyone can contribute.
That sounds like a good idea in theory, but can it really work in practice?
It's definitely a challenge, but Mustak believes it's essential if we want to create AI that truly benefits everyone.
Okay, so diversity is one piece of the puzzle, but what about the potential for AI to be misused? For things like surveillance control, even military applications.
He brings that up too.
Hmm.
He's not shying away from the darker possibilities. He talks about the very real risk of AI being used to monitor and manipulate people on a massive scale.
It sounds like something out of a dystopian sci-fi novel.
It does. But it's a possibility we need to take seriously. He uses this really stark image. He talks about 10 billion robots and a bad firmware upgrade.
Okay, that's a little creepy. What exactly does he mean by that?
He's basically saying that if we don't have proper controls in place, even a small error in the code of a widely deployed AI system could have catastrophic consequences.
So, like, billions of robots suddenly malfunctioning all at the same time.
Yeah, or being hacked and used for malicious purposes.
Okay, now I'm really starting to freak out.
It's a sobering thought, but it's why Mostak is so insistent on the need for ethical guidelines and safeguards.
So it's not all doom and gloom then. There's still hope for a positive future with AI.
Absolutely. Amidst all the warnings, Mostak still believes that AI has the potential to make us better humans.
Better humans? How is that even possible?
Think of AI agents as personalized coaches, helping us break bad habits, develop healthier lifestyles, or even guide us towards more fulfilling careers.
So it's like having a 247 therapist and life coach all rolled into one.
Yeah, something like that. But it's important to remember that AI is a tool. It's up to us to decide how we use it.
I like that perspective. It puts the power back in our hands.
Exactly. And Mostak has this great term for this kind of human AI collaboration. He calls it centaurs.
Centaurs,
Yeah.
like the mythical creatures with the horse body and human torso.
Yeah, it's a bit of a strange analogy, but it works. He's basically saying that we need to combine the best of both worlds, the analytical power and speed of AI with the creativity, intuition, and empathy of humans.
So it's not about being replaced by AI. It's about becoming more powerful and effective through collaboration.
Exactly, and that's really the message we want to leave you with today. AI and robots are already changing the world, and they're only going to become more influential in the years to come.
It's an exciting time to be alive, but it's also a time for careful consideration. We need to be aware of the potential risks of AI, while also embracing its potential to solve some of humanity's biggest challenges.
So what are your hopes and fears about the future of AI? How do you see yourself interacting with these technologies in the years to come?
And most importantly, what role do you want to play in shaping this future? The future of AI isn't predetermined. It's a story that we're all writing together, so let's make it a good one.